right, let's see. I think we are live. I'm waiting to see it's transmitting. I think we are live. Yep, let me mute this. Transmitting. I think we are live. All right, we're live. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Stacking Stormtrooper here for my members only VIP stream, and I've got my good friend, Director of Awesome. What's going on, DOA?
What's up, guys?
This is like DOA's first live stream in a while, for especially in the stacking community. Is this your first live stream in the stacking community?
Yeah, this is my first live stream in the stacking community for sure.
I mean, you've done plenty in the past in your previous life, but and I've seen you do them on Instagram. You're like always on there doing your live streams. But I'm happy to have you on here. You've been a supporter of the channel for several months now, and you and I just clicked like, I don't know, as if we've been
like peas and carrots,
like
bro.
Peas
like
and
peas
carrots.
and carrots.
Yeah. And so, I'm just, everybody's saying, Baby Yoda. Are you seeing the chat?
I am not.
Oh, it's behind you?
Well, I think it's actually feeding back, so I don't.
Oh, no worries. I could read for you. But everybody's like, Baby Yoda, and they're saying, hello, DOA. So we've got, let's see, who do we have here? We got Sean Paul Bernard. Let's see, sure, my tolerance is low since the shutdowns. Biological clock is ticking here. Vinny says, Herb Ash. Numismatic Stacker says, hello. Sean Paul Bernard. Oh, look at that. Exploring with Nug is in the house. Guys, let me just say something about Nug. Let me just say something about Nuggy over here. Nug and I, we were in the trenches with each other, starting our YouTube channels at the same time. Ballad of Janine is saying DOA is fine.
Thank you, Janine. Sean Paul, what's up? Mr. Nilbar. I'm sorry, Stormy.
No,
I'm just saying
good.
hello. I got the chat to work. I got the chat.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it to work.
But what I wanted to say about Nug, guys, those of you that don't know Nug, he does a lot of videos, scuba diving in the rivers of Georgia, lakes and whatnot, finding all sorts of stuff like money, guns, you name it. He's finding it. And TikTok, he's massive, like over 500,000 followers on TikTok.
Wow.
Yeah, and then recently his YouTube channel just blew up. So he was like in the 800s, 900s with me, and then I've kind of been like kind of trudging along, and then boom, he took off like a rocket. Good to see you, Nug. Hope Mrs. Cat Lady is doing well. Cat Toy Lady. So, yeah, guys, so this is my boy, DOA. I've been saying now, I don't know for how long, off camera to DOA. We talk at least every day, either via text or Instagram DM or phone call. But I've been telling him to start making videos in the stacking community, and he's starting. But the thing is, like, you know what you're doing. Like, if you guys go back and there's Silversmith Shield with the $5 super chat, thank you so much, buddy.
Oh, I gotta stop 1 second.
Yeah.
This is from, I don't know if you can be able to see it.
Yeah, it's a pirate skull.
This
right?
is from Silversmith. This is the prototype.
Oh, there you go.
It focused.
Yeah.
This is the prototype.
Looks
and
like One-Eyed Willie.
Yeah, he's got a patch. I didn't even know. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. Not only could I put it in a sock and kill someone with it.
That's important.
But this thing is, yeah, it is important. I mean, this is, I'm just going to give you some street cred here. Not that you need it from me. This is a normal one.
Oh, yeah.
This is badass.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
could see the huge difference in detail. Silver Scientist,
man.
Thank you so much. We got another member. That's 2 people joining the Bucket Brigade.
There you go.
I didn't see the first person. I was on the phone with you and somebody joined and it didn't have a name. Maybe Coin Brothers, you could remind me. And by the way, Silver Scientist and the other person who joined, one of us, make sure when Coin Brothers remind me to welcome our new members into the fold when we start the auction at 8 p.m. Eastern. But so DOA,
yes, sir.
You have been, in my opinion, I think overthinking what you're going to start with when it comes to filming videos. And I've been just nudging you nonstop. I'm like, just start pushing content out there, because I think you're going to kill it. You know?
Well, I appreciate it. And, you know, I've got a pretty long past experience in YouTube and producing content. But by definition, I'm new to the stacking space. And so just as a businessman, I don't want to stick my nose out there and into things I don't know a whole lot about. So I'm learning, and I want to look at all the Tay. Yes, all the gold. This is, this is my thing. Tay was making fun of me.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know already, DOA, I mean, he knows about precious metals. I mean, he's got an extensive collection of antique jewelry, all sorts of gold, and I mean, it kind of looks like One-Eyed Willie's, what do you call it there? Treasure chest.
I robbed the treasure chest?
Yeah. But so he's not like new to precious metals. It's just stacking bullion and what have you. He's kind of newer, but you know, his background, you know, if you go to his channel, and I've been telling people go to his channel and subscribe. In fact, DOA, you're a moderator. If you wanted to drop the link to your channel within the chat, by all means, feel free. Or if any of my subscribers, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think Coin Brothers, can you grab mine? I know I'm incapable of typing. Look, Mr. Nobar asked me earlier. This is a very nice bourbon.
I told him you're drinking milk.
It's milk. Never mind. It's milk.
Goat milk.
Oh God. Milk. Milk.
So, and
thank you, Tay, for putting that up.
Ted Jones is a man-child. I always call him Mr. Man-child.
Yeah, well.
Sean Paul Bernard saying, do it, drop it. Here's DOA's YouTube channel. Thanks, Ted Jones. So, you know, he did post one video that I absolutely loved. It was probably the only video that I've watched in its entirety in our community for the last several months.
Wow.
Basically calling people, you know, just telling it straight. And I'm going to keep the curse words out of it. But I was like, that's what I'm talking about, you know? And it's just, I just like your stuff. So when I found you, you know what it feels like? It's like feeling like I'm like a scout for, you know, like a professional athlete or something. I've like discovered you, and now I'm just trying to get to push content out there.
Now you're getting me to stop going to the nightclubs at night and start going to the ball field and practicing, huh?
There you go. We got another person joining. Thank you, Kayla. Much appreciated.
Guys, whenever y'all join and I'm on the stream, I get to take credit for it for at least the next 4 days.
There you go.
I get to call Stormy and take credit for
Maybe
that.
you're just going to be the face of the channel.
Maybe so. I mean, I'm not in a bucket.
Members.
I'm not wearing a bucket.
No.
I should have put on a bucket, huh?
You don't need a bucket.
I don't even own a bucket. I don't own a bucket.
And I think too, you know, with the whole thing with precious metals and whatnot, you know, it's still a great time to get into it on YouTube. I mean, it is a saturated niche so far on YouTube. I mean, there's so many channels, but I still think there's plenty of room for more people, different points of view. And like I said, I feel like your content and your style, your equipment, I think is good. Deadpool 26 joined. What is going on here? Did you tell your employees that you're like, when I'm like, hey, you got to start, you're like 3 minutes, and then you tell all of your employees you got to become members?
You know what? I did that last Friday when I was writing out their paychecks. I said, go give all of this to Stormy.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Deadpool.
Dreadpool, good job, man.
Kayla, Dreadpool. I was saying Deadpool. Dreadpool, forgive me.
Play on words.
Dreadpool. I have to write their names down so I make sure to greet them the right way during the auction. So we got Dreadpool. We got Kayla. Who is the other individual? If I scroll up there, Coin Brothers, do you remember? I'm trying to scroll up, but I have like so many tabs open. And then we had No Name. There's like one person that joined No Name. Silver Scientist.
Silver Scientist.
So yeah, I think, you know, it was anonymous, says Sean Paul. That's what I'm saying. So when do you think you will be ready to post your full, first precious metals video? What do you think?
That's a good question. Like you said, there's a lot of people in the space. It feels, I mean, just as a content creator and as somebody who's been in marketing for 20 plus years, it's like when you buy that new car, all of a sudden you see that same car everywhere.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
When you're in this space, you see it everywhere, and it kind of can wear on you. I mean, to be honest, it can wear thin on you. You don't think you're unique enough anymore. It can really bog you down. And for me, I put so much energy into what I would consider production value, just like you do. You have an amazing show. You have a massively, wildly entertaining show, which I can't say that for many people. There are I'll just say this, I don't care. I've gone to a bunch of different auctions and content streams, and within about a week or so, I'm bored. With you, I always make time. I always sit down at the desk. I shut the door, pour myself a bourbon, and I enjoy the show, even if I'm not bidding. And that's because when you say that you're in for the entertainment of it, you're not BSing. You're not BSing. It is a good time. And while I think auctions by the nature of it are transactional,
yeah,
I think that you add a twist to it, especially when you get on these sidebar conversations with mainly yourself.
Yeah. I'm like laughing at my own jokes.
Yeah. It's like, what in the hell is he laughing at? Because like that.
Yeah. I know.
So, but as far as me and the content goes, I have a level of production standard, and with that standard comes knowledge. And so I think that I'm best suited right now to talk about the experiences as somebody who may have a bigger budget than most folks. I have more freedom, I think, than most folks just with my job. I own my businesses. What is it? When is Stormy going to bring in a doll? Oh.
God, who said that? Ted Jones?
Britches. Of course it's Britches.
Silver Britches? It's one of those.
Yeah, it's Britches for sure. Ninja's on here. Hey, Ninja, what's up? So as far as content, let me just get this out of the way. I have been producing content on my own. Pushing the go button has been just needing to be sure that the information I'm putting out there is accurate and fair. Because I'm an opinionated person. Like my precious metal D-bag video, that is how I felt. That's how I felt. I felt it was very, I think it's pathetic behavior by a lot of people to act like that.
Yeah.
And if I want to go burn money in my driveway, leave me alone. Let me go burn money in my driveway. If I want to go play games or raffles, if I want to, whatever I want to do, I should be able to. It's my business. I want to go do. That's what capitalism is. I'm going to make all the money I want, and I'm going to spend it the way I want, and everybody needs to leave me alone. Now, that said, my opinions carry that, and I feel the same way in this space. So I guess I'm trying to figure out the lane. Do I bring 20-plus years of business experience to the table to help people understand how they should strategically invest as a new person, because I am technically a new person?
Yeah.
Or do I talk about the trials and tribulations and the things that make me go nuts on the weekend? So we're figuring it out.
I mean, you could do both. I mean, you know what I mean? Like every once in a while I put up all sorts of random stuff in my, channel. So you could always do both, and nobody, and I've said this to you, like, you don't have to necessarily be an expert, to be able to make the videos on precious metals. And I know what you're saying is, like, you want to be able to talk about precious metals and at least come across that you kind of know what you're talking about, which I get. But, there's so many people making videos. They don't know what they're talking about necessarily. They don't understand silver,
you know what?
gold.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. That's going to get me on a rant.
I like
not
rants.
Really. But that is what bugs me the most, probably, about the community. It's not auctions. It's not games. It's none of that. It's the misleading information because psychologically speaking, if somebody makes a bad decision, it's blue crab mentality. They want to pull everybody else down with them.
Yeah.
If you make a bad financial choice, if you spend your rent money when you shouldn't have, you can't pay the light bill because you bought too much silver on Stormy's auction. Ha ha ha. But I mean, that's the sort of stuff that happens, and often silver pushers, price pumpers, market chasers, you name it, they're all out there. And I think it's misleading. I think our job as experts, I think our job as is YouTube don't go for life advice.
Yeah, he's saying like, take some people, like listen to people, but just take it with a grain of salt.
Well,
but
here's the model: hear everyone, listen to no one.
Yeah,
that's hear everyone, listen to no one. I mean, mistakes don't teach you what to do; they just show you what not to repeat. And so we're all on this learning curve of trying to figure out what works for us, what works for our finances. I don't buy into the BS with look at trends. I don't buy into the BS of, Donald Trump used Charmin today, so the stock's going to crash. I don't buy into all this crazy stuff. I don't buy into the price pump. I don't buy into any of it. Here's what I buy into. I have my reasons why I want to be in gold and silver, why I want to be in precious metals. I got my start buying jewelry because I could wear it, I could love it, I could fall in love with the story, I could still collect the metals, I could enjoy it. I loved sort of the intrinsic value of where it came from and why. Mm-hmm. And I've amassed quite a bit. By definition, I'm not a stacker, but I can guarantee that if I melted everything that I have...
Then you'd be a stacker.
I could build a pretty big shed.
Then then you'd be a stacker.
Then I'd be a stacker. And so, yeah, exactly right. It's, people get too caught up in terminology, and they get too caught up in the nonsense. And am I big enough? Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? And I'm in that same cycle. I mean, I'm self-admitting that with content.
Funny. Yeah.
So once I figure out my cadence and my routine, I'll be able to run with it.
Yeah. No, and I think too, you know what it is too? I think if the one thing that you would have going for you also is like a huge number of us don't want to show our faces on camera, and you need chopsticks to get it. Chopsticks.
Dude, I don't know what the hell. It likes my bourbon.
But I think because you show yourself on camera,
and
because you talk, sincerely about what you're thinking, the genuineness of what you're going to say is going to come across. So, I don't know. I just think, did you get it? Squeeze hard, kill it in there. No?
I did.
There you go. There you go. Now $5. Eat it. No. Don't eat it. No. But I think, like I said, I think, when the time is right, I know you'll do it. I'd like to get on your case about it just because I'm impatient and I just want to see you blow up, and I think you will. I just want to see, and all the other guys that you talk to with me in that little the Instagram chat group, they all agree. And that's why, like, Guido, when I said to him, oh, we got to get DOA as our next guest, he was like, definitely.
Well, I may ruin it. Is that coming up or is that today?
That's next week, next Tuesday.
Okay, so let's do some crowd interaction.
Yeah.
Well, I know it hasn't been all that impressive yet, folks. Put a number 1 in there if I should come back next week, or if you want Stormy to find somebody more entertaining.
No, we don't want anybody else. And it doesn't matter anyway.
It doesn't matter. You're the boss.
See, Ted Jones loves you. Coin Brothers won. Ninjas won. Ballad, she likes how you look.
My new girlfriend, Janine.
Yep, Herb. Look at that. Everybody says 1. Silver Trooper saying 2, because that's what Silver Trooper does. Numismatic. He's all about it. Look at that. 1.
There we go. Boom. Crowd interaction.
I told you.
I feel like Zig Ziglar up here. Without the hip problems.
I told you, dude. Look at that. Sean Paul Bernard's all the ones. So you'll be our guest, guys. Director of Awesome's going to be the guest on the next Heavy Metal show, which will be next week on Tuesday. Guido was planning on having it on his. He and I have to just firm that up. It might be on his. It might be on mine. We have to still kind of figure that all out. But either way, next week, Heavy Metal show DOA will be on there. And speaking about, being genuine,
Sure.
I found that when I do my videos, not necessarily rant videos, but the videos in which I'm a little bit more opinionated about, and I'm just like talking to people, not so much like educating them, but just like talking. So like the last one I did, what the heck was it called? Something like warning to silver stackers or something like that.
Right.
It had the yellow picture, right? And I was talking about the silver pumpers. Like those types of videos tend to do better for me than if I'm like, here's the type of gold you should own, blah, 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 blah. And I just posted a poll on my community tab, which got a lot of interaction. And I was talking about the fact that there's a lot of auctions now on YouTube. Like you're seeing tons in the stacking community, tons of them. And a couple people, you know, my issue, and I was saying this, it's not so much that there's tons of channels doing auctions necessarily. I mean, that's a minor issue, and I'll get to that in a second. But the fact, like, when you see other people kind of just blatantly ripping your stuff off, you know, that's kind of the thing that kind of irks me. You know, I don't care if, you know, like I said, like Silver Dragons does his auctions. He's got his own style. He does his own thing. Guido does his own thing, and he's got his style. ECP does his own thing. He's got his style. But when I see people like, you know, taking ideas from other people and just running with it and putting them off as it's their own, that's what bothers me. Ninja saying originality.
We had this talk, Stormy. We had this talk when you were when you were doing your trademark.
Yeah.
And I said, look, trademark means absolutely nothing unless you follow rule number 1 with trademarks and copyright, which is you must police your mark. You have to police it. And the way you present, style, the cadence, all of that can become a brand, especially in a digital world. You know, the Tonight Show, Johnny Carson, Jay Leno. Jay Leno's chin became part of his brand, right?
Yeah.
And so, not to make this too watered down or too macro, but you have a brand, and you need to maintain the integrity of that brand. And at some point in everyone's career, in everyone's profession, there's the off-ramp happens, and you go from helping someone to someone almost mimicking you.
Yes.
And the hard part for a guy like you, and I'm going to put words in your mouth because we haven't spoken about this, so if I'm wrong, tell me to just disconnect my feed. But it's a fine line from defending your brand and then coming across as aggressive.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's tough. It's a tough position.
Yes.
Yep. I mean, it's tough. And honestly, I mean, like when you put up your post on YouTube, I can see how some people would take that as, oh, wow, big guy is just pissed at the little guy. I can see how I can see a lot of those things. And I can say things that you cannot because I'm not you. That's a privilege of not being the brand.
Right.
You can't talk about yourself. But the reality of it is that what I think you have always condoned and promoted is development of a unique style. And in branding and marketing, we call it a unique selling proposition or a USP. And guys, I'm not going to get technical because you don't want to hear this stuff. You're here to talk about metals and stuff. But the idea here is that every business, person, entity, enterprise, everything has a unique selling proposition, something that makes them interesting and special. And when somebody decides to share those USPs with you, it doesn't give you carte blanche authority to go and copy that person and not expect that person to defend that brand. So, Stormy, to your point, while auctions are good and it does drive traffic and it drives interest, the reality is I haven't seen one that can compete.
Thank you.
Thanks. I'm not selling you ego stuff because
I know, and I appreciate it. You know, and I do understand too, to your point, like when you were saying like it seems like big guy pissed off at the little guy, and you know, like I was saying that it does bother me when I share with people tips and tricks and help them, and I help them with their auctions and everything, and then, you know, and then people just kind of take it and just, you know, run with it, and like they take it as their own. That kind of thing does bother me.
Look, look, deep down, I know that you have this guys, whether you know it or not, Storm has this confrontational side of him that kind of ekes out. He's a competitor. and so he dresses like Mother Teresa, but he plays like Michael Jordan. Okay? The helmet doesn't hide. And the reality is, Storm, I think you're responsible for that too. When you help people out, I think you need to lay down the ground rules.
Yeah.
I think you need to teach them what you're so good at, which is giving somebody the confidence, instilling in them the good to create their own message, to create their own story. I mean, like that's the biggest advice you can give somebody. If you get up there and fumble around and fart around and you butcher your stuff,
right.
I almost said it. I almost said
it's
it.
Close. It's all right. Keep going. It's good.
But if you get up there and do that, you're going to learn to love it or you're going to learn to hate it. Look at you. Look back at some of your first videos.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Terrible.
That was a real stud muffin. I can see that one swiping left on Tinder.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
It's so bad.
But look at what it did. You found your path, which was I want to be better. I want to grow. I want to share. I want to entertain. And so you chose that path. Other people will tap out. It's the nature of humanity.
Anything. Yeah.
Right. So while it's easy for you to be painted in a negative light, defending your brand, I think everybody should understand how important that brand is. I mean, it's so important that you and I had a sidebar conversation about your trademark. And trademarks are not cheap and they're not easy. And it says that you're taking a serious step. You are a full-time teacher. I think everybody knows that. I'm not divulging anything.
Nope, everyone knows.
And you're also a full-time content creator, and let's face it, probably a part-time stacker at this point.
Yeah.
So, but that said, you're choosing your path, and no one shall interrupt that path. And I think that everybody here has the same opportunity. There's 50 people watching now, and there could be 50 people go out right now and create a channel, and every one of them would be different.
Yeah.
But I think on a positive note, you should take. I don't buy. First of all, I don't buy into the imitation is the finest form of flattery. I don't buy into that. I think it's kind of weak. I think it's cheap, and I think you should defend it and protect it.
Yeah.
But my counsel to you would be to make sure that when you give that awesome advice that you give, that you do not allow them to take your advice for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you'll feel better about it too. But you have nothing to worry about, and I think that nobody else has anything to worry about. They need to be doing their own thing. Look, my name, how many silver, how many gold, how many names have Stacker in it?
I know.
Almost everybody. Everybody.
Yeah.
I went with Director of Awesome. It's a name that I've carried in business. It's a name that I used to use when I gave talks. And I went with it. I kept it. But it has nothing to do with stacking. I show my face.
Right.
I just live by a different gospel. So
it will, like I said, it could possibly help, within the stacking community. I think a lot of people put stacking or silver or something in there because it just helps with like SEO search and crap like that. Blah 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 blah.
I don't give a hell.
But I know. I mean, you don't need to.
I don't care. Like you find me, leave a nasty comment. Great. I love you too. I mean, like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I'm here for the people who want to be here. I'd rather be in a room with 50 people who want to listen to me than 5,000 who don't care what I say.
Yeah. So listen, it's about that time.
Oh, you're kicking me off this thing already?
Yeah, we got the auction in about 2 minutes. I'll probably run the I'm gonna run the what do you call it there? The countdown for
elevator
that.
music. The
elevator music.
Is this Enya? Do you have Enya?
I might have some.
You're either like a retired stagehand from a rock band, or you're blasting like washed out spa music.
I do a combo.
I know it's.
But guys, please make sure you subscribe to DOA, and he'll be on again. He's going to be on with me and Guido next Tuesday, and he'll probably make an appearance in the auction. DOA, you hang on the line. Everybody, I'll see you in just a moment on the auction stream.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the hospitality. I love the comments. I'm sorry I'm not coordinated enough to get to everybody.